Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, as well as through our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcasts. We're glad you all could be with us as well. This is part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD, and today we're talking about asthma. There are over 25 million people in the United States that are living with asthma. However, there are more than 1 million Americans living with what's called severe asthma. We're going to talk to two very special guests about this and a new treatment option that is available. We're excited to welcome Dr. Neal Jain to our program, as well as Melody. Melody is someone who suffers from severe asthma. We're going to talk to them not only about the difference between asthma and severe asthma, but also more about that treatment option. Thanks to the two of you for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Jain, I want to start with you. I mean, many people, including myself before researching this segment, didn't even know there was a difference between asthma and severe asthma. Talk to us about the difference in the way that it is not only impacting individuals, but also the treatment options for it.
Sure, and we're going to hear from Melody in a second, but I mean, patients with asthma, they'll often explain that they have symptoms of cough or wheeze or shortness of breath occasionally, sometimes with activity, sometimes when they get sick or they're exposed to, for example, their household cat. But people with severe asthma, they have symptoms oftentimes all the time, or they'll have symptoms that wake them up at night, or symptoms with activity, even when they're taking medications that have been around for a couple of decades. And sometimes they'll be taking those medications, what are known as inhaled steroids, for at very high doses. And despite taking those medications at high doses, they'll still have asthma attacks and still experience these symptoms. And so it can be difficult to live with asthma because they're having those asthma exacerbations. Oftentimes those exacerbations can lead to them being in the urgent care or the emergency room or even hospitalized and on oral steroids, which can have a very negative impact on their health, not only in the short term, but in the long term.
And Melody, we appreciate you being with us to share a bit of your story. What has been your experience in dealing with severe asthma?
Severe asthma is definitely life-changing. I was diagnosed at 14. It was mild at that time. It wasn't until my 20s that it got pretty severe, and since my 20s, I've been in the ICU over 60 times, intubated. I've been coded once. Just things like simply getting ready for work or going out with friends is a challenge when you're struggling for every breath. So I've had to, my husband and I have had to actually move from Illinois to Missouri, and job changes, and just a whole lifestyle change when you have severe asthma.
And Dr. Jain, to the point that Melody was just making, it does impact, all aspects of an individual's life. So can you explain, Dr. Jain, the potential impact of this new treatment option that may be available for people living with severe asthma?
Sure. So, again, we've had a variety of inhaler medications available to treat people with asthma over the last couple of decades. And we've also had the emergence of different kinds of medicines, what are called biologics, which are oftentimes injectable medications that target different pathways in the immune system that are overactive depending upon what condition is we're trying to treat. In the case of severe asthma, there are classes of biologics that have been used for different kinds of asthma, and we now have this medication called Tezspire or tezepelumab echo, which is a medication that targets a protein called TSLP that is overproduced by our airways, in the lining of our airways, in people that have severe asthma. And so this medication helps in many ways to reduce asthma symptoms, to improve lung function, and to reduce those asthma attacks or asthma exacerbations, which is really, I think what our goal is when we're treating people with asthma. As with any medication, you have to be aware of, potential for side effects or allergic reactions, but this does seem to be a very effective treatment.
And I'm sure that's going to be great news for a lot of people out there, as I mentioned, with over 1 million Americans that are living with severe asthma. Melody, to that point, what advice, you mentioned about it being life-changing, what advice can you provide for our audience out there, either those who are, have been living with this for some time or recently diagnosed with severe asthma, about the support that's there?
Yeah, there's definitely lots of support. My advice is get with a good asthma specialist, one that you really work well with. Get a good support group. For me, I belong to a support group on Facebook, and they have been a lifeline for me. They understand asthma and all that it impacts in just a deeper way. So make sure you're getting plenty of rest, exercising, eating healthy, following your asthma action plan, and just still staying positive and embracing the small things in life. So that would be my advice.
There. Yeah, appreciate that, Melody, and really great tips for our audience. And Dr. Jain, what about for our audience that they're looking for more information about Tezspire? Where can they be able to go to learn more about it?
Sure. So there's a website, www.tezspire.com, TEZSPIRE.com. And that has great information not only about the medication but about severe asthma in general. And so I do encourage people to seek out a good asthma specialist, someone who knows how to help you control the disease, because there are a lot of options out there for you now.
Love that. Again, everyone, Dr. Neal Jain has been our guest, as well as Melody, talking with us about severe asthma, the impact of it, and now this new treatment option as well. Thanks to the two of you for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great morning.
Yes, thank you very much. Have a great day.
You as well, and we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live, part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's go make today amazing. Take care.